Good day, everybody. Well, last time I talked about the media, I told them and I congratulated them on how much of a wonderful job they did in talking and discussing about the fandom, particularly when dealing with the tragedy that happened in Southern California. There was absolutely no incidents to really report, and everything went really well and dandy, and I think that the media is getting a lot better at trying to portray serious topics within the fandom without looking like a bunch of idiots, and you know, everything is going fine, and what's that? So close. So close. You know, heck with me for saying something and complimenting people. I guess I gotta wait like 2 weeks with the media. You never know what's gonna happen with them, man. Oh no. Okay. So I saw this thing on my timeline when dealing with the thing. So, and I know that Patch did an article about this thing. A lot of people in the furry fandom found this pretty not really acceptable. And unlike Patch, I'm going to have to agree with the people who didn't really find it acceptable. Unfortunately. I mean, I understand that the intent was not there, which means that this, in my mind, is better than the MSNBC reaction to the whole, chlorine gas attack at the MFF. Because this one, this one, I think the person didn't intend to be despicable, but it's too easy to interpret as, it's art. Art is about expression. It's about expressing things in a very important manner, in a very concise manner. This is not really that. But let's talk about the thing behind the background. So this has to do with the murder that happened in Southern California. This is an editorial cartoon that was run by the, what's it called? OC Weekly? OC Register. I think it's the OC Register. So obviously it's run by the OC Register because they're putting their own little name right on that thing. See, it's called branding. Now, so not only did they get an opportunity to make an editorial cartoon about, dead furries and their murderers, they got a chance to advertise and put their own branding in that very same cartoon. Bonus points! Congratulations, guys. Good on you. Give me a break, give me a break. Breaking and entering with Kit Kat bars. Anyways, no, if you're going to advertise, if you're going to use crime to advertise, you may as well do it right? So this thing here has two furries reading the newspaper going, I wonder if they wore disguises. Now, if this was a break-in and entering, if this was just a robbery, and furries committed this robbery and they got arrested for it, I'd be laughing my ass off, because that would be hilarious. That would be chummy, that would be great, that would be like, I wonder if they wore disguises. And trust me, if you're going to wear a disguise and doing something as distinct as these things is not a good idea. In fact, we've had a lot of history, we've had about a few incidences now where fursuits have been stolen. And to me, I can only imagine that it's like, oh God, this is not something that anyone who'd want to, like, if you like stole like a thing from a storage facility and then you found out it's the fursuit, you're gonna be like, oh God, no. Oh God, no. This is worse than leaving my fingerprints and DNA all over the place, because now I have something that is unique and distinctive that everyone knows about, and now I gotta get rid of this thing. I certainly can't wear it. People will know who it is, or who it's not, or that was stolen. But, that aside, if it was a robbery, great. Because when I think of, a crime in which you would wear a disguise, robbery, is one of them. I can't really think of many murders in which people wear disguises. Except if it's like a political assassination in like a storybook or something. I mean, even in the real world, even in real world political assassinations, usually don't entail disguises. Usually, the person's politically motivated, so they just walk, or maybe they're trying to impress some lady, like what happened with the Reagan dude. So they just go and do what they're going to do. They usually don't wear disguises. So to me, that's why this joke fell flat in this case. Murder is not something I usually tie with disguises. I think the tie-in with disguises was kind of forced because they're furries. And the joke just doesn't work for me. And by the way, and by the way, if you're going to have a furry who's making a stupid tongue-in-cheek joke that's probably not the best thing to use at the moment, you can at least dress the dude up as a griffin. Ooh, I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail for that one. Oops. But anyways, here's my take on things. I don't personally find things offensive in lieu of other people. And I think that's a very important thing when dealing with situations like this. I don't find offense in things that other people, like I don't feel offense for other people. If the families who are, the families who are hurt by this incident, I think have the right to be offended. And if they find this, demeaning and crass and just exploitive in any way, I think that they should contact the register and let them know that that's how they feel. If it were, if I were murdered personally, or my family was murdered, I certainly wouldn't be a big fan of this. I guess it's kind of weird because furries, we seem to be treated as a celebrity gets treated. But the most important thing to understand is that we're not politicians, we're not celebrities, we're not people who are high up in the social status ladder. Yet, because we wear a costume, sometimes we get treated that way. But it's important to realize that we're normal people. We're middle class, lower middle class. Like, not a lot of us are actual celebrities. Very few of us reach that echelon. And even if we reach that echelon, usually the echelon is just within the fandom. It's not outside the fandom. No one would know who we were. Inside the fandom, a lot of people might know who we are, but outside the fandom, people are going to be like, "Who? Huh? What? Huh? I don't know you." So, yes, we're sometimes silly. We sometimes, are that way. But it's not an invitation to treat it as if it's a big event when something like this happens, because it's not. It's a big event within the fandom. It's an unfortunate event within the fandom, but it's not a big event as in you should make editorial cartoons about it. In my mind, it's not that huge of an event. And ironically, the most offensive piece of art to come out of this was outside the furry fandom. That's a thing. Right? I don't know. I mean, if we wanted to draw silly comics about terrible events, we have plenty of artists who could do it for us. I'm sure there'll be plenty of artists who are going to draw editorial cartoons about this cartoon. But at least you got your branding, and congratulations. Anyways, I think that's enough for this topic, because I don't think I have much more to say about that thing. So, click on the boxes. Kick the like, kick the subscribe. Also, be sure to remember that there were children who were left behind because their parents who were victims of this unfortunate tragedy that this particular editorial cartoon was expressing, I guess. They're still out there. They still need, money, and they still need charitable, they still need to have their, they still need, your help in order to get by during this whole event. And, just remember that is the most important thing, is that we need, that we need to show that we can come together as a community when some of us falter, because that's what a community does. Is that when somebody in the community falters, when somebody causes pain, we be there for one another, and that's the most important thing. At the end of the day, I don't think this had harmful intent, but it was a little not on the nose, but just a little too. You tried too hard. All right, you tried too hard, and now if there's ever a robbery in the future and a furry commits it, you go ahead and use that. But a murder, especially when the murder victims were also furries, not so much. Anyways, that's my opinion on that. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to leave your comments and stuff like that below. I guess I can link to the original editorial. I'll link to Patch's coverage of it. But other than that, I don't know if I want to link to the actual thing. It was on the OC register. I'm sure if you Google it, you can find it. But anyways, I'm going to get the hop out of here. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.